Kia ora, it's Ruth here and welcome to my garden in Christchurch. This is my end of August garden tour, and if you saw my last video, I haven't done too much over winter and I haven't actually done too much in August either, but it's a really good benchmark to show you what's going to be happening come spring. Spring technically is September. Here in Christchurch, the kind of rule of thumb is not to do any planting out of your warm season vegetables until show weekend, which is November. Typically in New Zealand the rest of it is October for Labour weekend, so I kind of go in between. Definitely have been caught out before, but it's just really hard not to get things in the ground. So what I'll do is I'll just show you around in 2 videos what's going on in my garden right now. Okay, so where we'll start is actually in Caleb's garden. So if you've been watching this for a while, last year Caleb started his own garden, something that I was not allowed to have any say in. I couldn't do anything. It was his, and it's going really well. This is his one right here. As you can see, the blue forget-me-nots have definitely taken over. We've got Asparagus, which have gone really well, and Nemophilia as well. These ones actually I'd planted to put into my garden. Caleb commandeered them, and I didn't realise they self-seeded. There's also a sneaky weed in here, which I'll just pull up, because this will be puha, which the chickens absolutely love. You know what? Didn't get the roots. That is always the worst sound when you're a gardener, is pulling it out and missing the roots. I'll have to come back. But I'll put this to the side for the chickens. In the gardens over here, what's ended up happening is I've just been pulling out a lot of things that were going to flower. I was keeping the broccolini for seeds. Then when I was looking through my seeds, I had a whole pretty much unopened packet of broccolini seeds. So I decided, once they had finished being the flowers, finished being good for the bees, they'd been setting their seeds, I decided to pull them out because this is where I'm going to be putting my tomatoes. So underneath the pea straw, I've already put a whole lot of new compost, and the worms will be working their magic, just putting it into the soil and just letting it sit for a little while. But with things going to flower, here at my kohlrabi, some of them have bulbed up, such as that one there. Some of them never have, but they're all going to flower as well. So because I don't need all this space yet, I will let a couple of them go to flower, just so the bees have got something for the start of the season, but then I'll be pulling them all out too. But the good thing is, what I've found with the kohlrabi is even when they've gone to flower, well, when they haven't set flower yet, but they're nearly there, they're budding, the kohlrabi actually tastes fine still. So that one that has gone bulbed, I will pull out and eat. But the ones that are just stems, I'll let them go to flower. Down the other end of this garden, we've got our carrots, some onions, and a whole lot of coriander, which I do love, beetroot. And in here where these sticks are, they are asparagus that I got given. Now I'm not sure whether they have actually taken or not, because I had a sneaky dig around, actually this one here, and I couldn't find any of the crown, which I'm really disappointed about. So we're just gonna have to wait and see. Some of them still look like they might be there, but it's a little bit too early to tell. So fingers crossed we do have asparagus crowns there. Down this side are our berries. I'm definitely needing to give them a good mulch. I've done a bit of a weed so far, but I need some mulch and feeding. But our blueberries have got so many flowers all over them, and this is about their 4th year. So for the first 2 years, first year I stripped all the flowers off so they could put energy into the roots. Next year was just over 50% or just under 50%. So this year I'm just leaving it on, and we're looking forward to lots and lots of blueberries. And here is our Boysenberry Vine, which I think I said in the last video. We only planted last year, and last year it was only up to about here, and it has just gone crazy. Crazy. We've had to cut it and retrain it, so we're looking forward to lots of berries. So yeah, this is our whole berry patch. If I take you right down to the end, we've also got some New Zealand cranberry ones, and these are really they're just little candy floss lollies kind of, but this garden needs a bit of TLC. When I say that garden does, I actually mean every garden, but we'll get there. That's what spring's for. Because we are a little bit later in being able to do the proper spring plant, it does give us a bit more time, especially with the longer evenings and the slightly settled weather. We'll see. So down here we've got our last few leeks. We've been enjoying them in our dinners. Our Brussels sprouts have been enjoying too, and they're starting to form their head at the end and starting to open a bit more, so they are definitely nearly ready to come out. We've only got a few more to come on or come off, and then we'll be eating this top bit too. And then we'll have another whole clear garden, because as you see, more kohlrabi going to flower, and the noda going to flower. So is our kale, which has been the annoying time a bit about this time of year, is it has been really warm, cold, and so it's just confused all the plants. And so we've got a lot of things going to flower, so hopefully I've got enough plants getting ready to go, but also just waiting for things to come on. We've had a really good winter being able to feed ourselves from the garden. That's one thing I've really valued, is just having so many meals, so many different things. So we might have a bit of a lull in between with everything having gone to seed flower a bit earlier than I was expecting, but we'll be okay. So down here, just a few beetroot. I need to give these guys a bit of a feed because they haven't grown too much. Down here, this garden's pretty empty too. It is just the rest of our Brussels sprouts, another kohlrabi gone to flower, and more kale gone to flower. Over here is our broad beans, and over here is our black currants. They're all looking really good. I gave them a bit of a trim to just let a bit more airflow in, but they are going to be out really soon. And this is our early apricot. Still got a few flowers on. We've been doing a lot of protecting of it, and there's a lot of leaves, so I'm not sure which ones hopefully are going to be some fruit ones. And over here is our later apricot, and it's just starting to bud up now, which is exciting. And what I'll do in this part one is I won't show these veggie gardens. I'll just show you around to this other side of the garden, because it's the side of the garden that I often miss, because one, I don't put as much time and energy. Two, it's pretty ugly. Three, there's not too much going on, but there is going to be more going on soon. So over here is our crab apple. It's starting to show some signs of life, which is good. We had a really good lot of crab apples off it last year. Got a few daffodils around, which are beautiful. I love it. It's actually really nice, that yellow against the green. All these daffodils are Caleb's planting. Caleb does bulbs a lot better than me. This is the garden that's going to have some stuff done to it. Here is our persimmon that got absolutely decimated by the frost last year, but we've got some new growth coming on it, which is really exciting, and I'm hoping for some good persimmons this year. And then, blah. So that area I'm going to do a lot to as well. Haven't touched it yet, but it's still on my plan. So I'll stop the tour for now. That is the first part. I'll go on to part two very soon. And I'd really love to know, if you're in Christchurch or elsewhere, what you're doing in your garden at the moment. Are you starting seeds? Do you have things going full force? Are you coming to the end of your season? Let me know what you're planting. And if there's anything new and exciting you're planting too, because I always like trying new things. Cool, we'll catch you later. Ka kite!